From Louisville, Kentucky, with our usual Wednesday night, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time live stream. Hope there's a few of you checking this out. A few shout outs before I show this train on the table. Dave Frazier, getting on in years, he's moving, he's downsizing his Beatles collection, and I'm in charge of selling some of it on consignment. This Lionel train set is part of it. Dave Frazier's going to buy one of these Paul. I'm down to the last three. He's going to buy one of these Paul Remco dolls, and I'm going to send it to Patricia of Little Beatles Corner. Polly sent me her address. Uncle Paul sent me a bunch of stuff that I'm going to show tonight that I paid for. He's got a new YouTube channel he's starting up in the next week or two. It's going to be called Uncle Paul's Beatles Pop Playhouse. So I don't think he's got any videos content up yet, but check it out when he does. Daniel Huang from British Columbia in Canada. He bought 4 of my sealed 1978 UK Beatle pressings. Show me that one box there. The first BC-13, the one that's right there by the door.
Gotta go. There's something up there.
This is the BC-13 from 1978. The first 3,000 imported by Capitol Records from England. This is 1460. I sold most all the albums out of it, except for only have 2 left with the Beatles and Beatles for Sale. They have the hype sticker imported from England, Capitol, and EMI. But yesterday they had an auction of a sealed BC-13 that was numbered like this of the first 3,000, and I won it for $1,250. So I got a sealed one coming in next week.
How much do you sell it with all the albums in it?
I'm gonna break it down. People only want certain pressings. The Greg Fio. He put up a butcher cover the other day and he sold it to me, a number 3 East Coast mono. So I got coming in the next couple days that I'll peel for next week. Paid $1,000 for a second state mono East Coast butcher cover number 3. Two Legs, shout out to their YouTube channel, Andy Nichols. Last Sunday, Brad Parnell was asking a lot of questions and going back and forth, sent a message to Andy Nichols, and he told Andy about the 4 Remco shipping boxes that I got a hold of. And Andy Nichols gave me a shout out, so thanks a lot for that. YouTube, we're finally monetized after almost close to 2 years. I think I made $2 so far in the first few days, but we'll get there. Especially those 2 videos I have where I'm showing peeling a butcher cover. I think I have like 5,000 views. So if we get more views on that, we will get paid on it. So sorry if there's some small ads when you watch some of my videos, but I'm monetized now. James Young, shout out to James Young. He's got his Beatlemania first press, November 1963, from Canada coming his way. Mikey Arugula, he just sent me a message. We're going to try to do a September 30th, pretty close to whatever that is, 6 days before the election, interview me and Mikey Arugula on Rachel's Ghost if Rachel will have us. We're going to try. Got any messages?
Yeah.
It was the 30th,
He was counting.
October 30th.
What did I say?
Is that what you said?
I thought October 30th.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's when we're going to do the Rachel's Ghost interview, try to October 30th.
Joseph Mancino said, hello, Stickermania family. Hello, Joseph.
How you doing, Joseph?
Polly Hawaii said, hi, Stickermania family.
Did you hear, Polly? We're going to send one of these Remco dolls that Dave bought from me to send. He purposely bought it from me so we can send it to Patricia, little Beatles corner.
Mama Papa said, may the bird of paradise fly up your nose. May an elephant caress you with his toes. May your wife be plagued with runners in her hose.
Well, you always got a good little saying to say there.
Vinyl Piper said, hi there.
How you doing, Vinyl Piper?
Justin Mantino said, I'm doing great. A little Beano Squirter said hi to Frank, Sticker granddaughter, and everybody turning in.
How you doing, Patricia?
Thanks very, very much for the present. I can't thank you enough. I'm a Paul girl all the way.
All right. As you know, in those shipping boxes, they put 11 Paul. And Brad Parnell made sure that Andy Nichols put that message at the bottom of 2 legs. So that's pretty cool.
He did, Joseph.
Joseph Mancino said, I purchased Paul. Hope for the future 12 and single from you. Thank you.
Yeah, we sent that out today. So thanks for buying that, Mr. Mantino. Is that right?
Joseph, yeah.
Joseph. Tim, local Tim, bought one of the Remco dolls the other day. He came to my work Sunday and picked it up. Annular and Christian, shout out to my Mexico buyers. Shout out to Perry Cox. There's my shout outs. Let's clear the table off. So we got this.
2 comments and then we'll get into it.
Mama Papa said, hello, Jimmy Dickens sang that a country song averaged 15 on the
That
pop
was the
chart.
song that he was
Jimmy
singing.
Dickens.
And then the last one.
Joseph Mancino said, I'm so excited to get it.
On that album we just
Gotcha.
sent out to. Now you can go. We caught everything up.
Yeah, there's a bluegrass singer that is exploding on the charts. You know who that is? A young guy from Nashville. Anybody know that out there in the messages? All right, this was put out in 2009, 2010 by Lionel Trains. You got 2 engines. One's 1200 and one's 1202. The engines, I don't see any sold history on the engines, but I've seen some of these cars sell. You got Meet the Beatles. You got the Beatles' second album, Hard Day's Night. You got 2 different ones, a regular car and a caboose.
Hold on, let me see Caboose, because the way it's all up. Let me see if I can't get it a little better for him. There you go.
Put it down over there. Oh, we're gonna put more. Something new. Help. Looks like they got the door open on Help. You got a Sarge and Pepper. You got a Magical Mystery Tour. It's pretty cool with the 4 Beetle faces on the side of the train car. This Yellow Submarine's pretty neat, where you got the animated screen inside there. And another caboose, Abbey
to
Road.
see. That one's hard to see.
All right, put all this down there. Careful with these things. And I'm selling those on commission for Dave Frazier, and the asking price for this whole set is $1,200.
Mama Papa asked, you got a pressing of Mystery Train.
Mystery Train, no, by Elvis. I got an Elvis train car there in the other room that Dave gave me to sell. You want to get that Elvis train car that's over in the box there on my big chair by the computer. All right, where is my notes at? Some more notes, then I'll show some things. A little trivia question tonight. I bought a Led Zeppelin Holy Grail music memorabilia item today. A sign by the whole band in 1975 when they were playing Earl's Court in England. And it's got a COA from PSA DNA, Roger Epperson, and Paul Wayne of Trax UK. So what they signed was that Billy banner that went around House of the Holy through the middle like an OBI. You have a John Bottom first, John Paul Jones, Jimmy Page, and Robert Plant. How much do you think that cost me to get a hold of that today? That's the trivia question. Beatles 64. Where's my first visit at?
Right back there.
Beatles 64, that's documentary that's coming out on Disney Plus November 29th. Should be spectacular because Peter Jackson is taking the audio from Ed Sullivan's show, the first Ed Sullivan show, and the Washington, D.C. concert from February 11th, and they demixed it at Wingnut, and then Giles Martin remixed it, so the sound should be amazing. I just hope they show the whole first Ed Sullivan show and the whole concert from February 11th at the Washington Coliseum.
So you got Joseph. Go with Joseph first at 23.
Joseph said 23,000.
23,000. You got to be not over, and to the nearest 500, you're too high.
A Little Beatles Corner says 750,000. I mean, 7,500.
That's too low.
10,000 said Polly.
You're getting closer, a little higher.
Can I guess?
You take a guess.
Joseph said 18.
Lower.
5,500.
That's too low.
Way too low. This is Led Zeppelin, the whole band.
Wait, you said 18,000 was low?
Was too high.
Oh.
All right, Joseph Mantino, you won it. You were the closest 500. Good job, Joseph.
I said 15. You said
14,500 was the correct answer. Way to go, Joseph.
15,500.
Right.
We're done with the
We're
trivia.
done with it. Move on.
But he said I was wrong.
14,500 was the answer. The first time I've ever seen a Led Zeppelin album outside of Pawn Stars that I believe was a real deal. Hard to get a John Bottom autograph, hard to get all four of them on the same front cover, because the one they had on Pawn Stars, Jimmy Page signed the front and the other three members signed the back of the first Led Zeppelin album. And they said that was worth close to $20,000.
Yeah.
So this is a Lionel car with Elvis on it. Elvis Hollywood, it says the King of Rock and Roll, the 50s, and Hollywood, the 60s. So if anybody's interested in that, give me an offer.
I was fixing.
It was originally $50 in 2002.
Joseph Mantino said that's very cool. Yes, I
Get your
remember
head
watching
up.
that episode.
You have to project.
You got to project yourself. Head
Y'all
up.
can hear me.
All right, go ahead. Tell us what Joseph said.
Joseph said that's very cool. Yes, I remember watching that episode.
Oh, we don't need a screen.
All right.
Stop talking.
All right, a few other shout outs. We got a little comedy going on here. Came out yesterday that Peter Jackson is working on the Concert for Bangladesh movie and the soundtrack. There's my album of the box set for Concert for Bangladesh. So always thought that could be improved. You got Badfinger, you got Billy Preston, you got Leon Russell, you got Bob Dylan. Be amazing if Peter Jackson improves the video and the sound.
New Daniel's comment.
Daniel Castillo said if they showed the Ed Sullivan show and the concert, it would have been a 3-episode.
Be a 3-episode if they showed the whole thing.
Yeah, I guess.
The concert's only 29 minutes long, and Ed Sullivan's only about 16 minutes long. I think they could do a 2.5 hour documentary and get that all in there, but what I know, nobody's saying how long it is or anything yet. Oh,
You forgot your good deed and Liam.
good deed for the day. There was a lady I was doing some carts in about 5 o'clock today, and a lady had a whole cart of groceries with two tied on the bottom of the cart, and she was on the wrong side of the service desk close to the front door. And I had a feeling when I came in that she was waiting for the service desk to turn the other way and she was going to sneak out. So I said I'd ring her up. And I rang a few items up, and then all of a sudden she says, I got to go to the car to get a card. And she had these two shopping bags that we sell, large like shopping totes, and they were all full of stuff. She goes, well, this is mine. I looked in it and there was meat and a lot of expensive items. I said, no, that belongs to the store. So she started getting loud with me, and I got louder, and I said, you got to get out of the store, and I grabbed the bags, and that was my good deed for place I work at today.
And R.I.P. Liam Payne.
What?
R.I.P. Liam Payne.
Yeah, he was a 31, lead, one of the singers of One Direction. Got too drunk or something, and I don't know what happened, but he fell 45 feet to his death.
Ouch.
Ouch.
A few other notes. Chaperone, she said at Austin, Texas on Sunday night, said, this is the last time I'm going to sing Pink Pony Club this year. And the members of the band gave each other a hug when they were walking off, and that's the end of her touring for this year. So I'm glad we got to see her a couple weeks ago in Franklin, Tennessee. So maybe Chaperone's taking 2.5 months off and going to record a new album. She's going to be on Saturday Night Live and do 2 songs on November 2nd, right before the election. A couple other Chaperone notes. Pink Pony Club, that song came out 4 years ago, and it's moving up in the charts in the United Kingdom, and it's number 11. Wouldn't it be cool if a song that was 4 years old went to number 1? In the United States, it probably won't happen, but I could see it happen in the United Kingdom.
Daniel Castillo said, typical for a Brit to get too drunk.
Yep. On the album charts this week, Coldplay put out their new album, went straight to number 1. Sabrina Carpenter went back to number 2, and Chaperone's at number 3. On the singles charts, Chapel's got number 6 with Good Luck Babe, 15 with Hot to Go, and 37 is Pink Pony Club. Told you about the Seal DC 13. First visit, let's talk about the Washington, D.C. concert a second again. I had a 16 millimeter film, about 25 minutes of the concert from February 11th, Washington Coliseum, 1964. I had a 16 millimeter film and a 16 millimeter film, A Magical Mystery Tour. I played them back to back at Ball State University in the early 1980s, and we charged like $1.50. And we played it twice, and I think I had like 50 people show up to Ball State University. What do they call those rooms? Just a big room and had a big screen.
Hall?
Huh?
The banquet hall?
No, but it had a big screen, so I showed the 16 millimeter film on this big screen, but it was pretty cool. But nobody in the early 80s had seen that Washington, D.C. concert on film, and they were shocked when they saw it for the first time.
A little Beatles corner, so I'm interested in understanding why you like her so much.
She understand?
No, she's interested in wondering why you do.
Because she rocketed to fame in 1 year's time, and it took her 10 years to get where she did her Midwest Princess album, and she's rocketing to fame similar to how the Beatles went from 1963 to 1964. I see a lot of similarities in the
Jenna Jameson said, I'm interested in understanding what's so great about the Beatles.
What's so great about the Beatles? Boy, that's hard to explain in 2 sentences.
That's just someone starting stuff.
Starting stuff.
I mean, you can say whatever you want. But
The Beatles, you got to dig deep a little bit, but there's no way that the Doors are more important in music history than the Beatles, like somebody was trying to tell me the other day. All right, that's about my notes. I got a few things I'll show, and then I'll talk about some songs I heard.
Brad Parnell said Greta Van Fleet was more into Led Zeppelin than the Beatles.
Who was?
Greta Van Fleet.
Greta Van Fleet. The thing about Greta Van Fleet, is that what they said?
Yep.
That group from here in, where are they from, Detroit? The first song was so Led Zeppelin-like, and then they went away from it, but I think they should have stuck with that Led Zeppelin-like songs. I think it would have been bigger, but they were getting a lot of flack. Somebody tell me what that first song was of Greta Van Fleet that I love so much. I can't come up with it right now.
Nova's Nick said, hi, Frank and Stick a Gal.
How you doing, Novus Nick? Good to see ya.
Hello.
So I got this on loan from Dave Frazier, the 1964 45 RPM box. It's got wear, but they all do because they're just made out of a pressed thick cardboard. So it's kind of hard to hold up 60 years. But they're made by Airflight, and they're pretty cool. I've had a lot of album boxes, but this is the only the third 45 RPM box that I've had. All right, Dave Frazier, I got some albums that I'm going to be putting up for him. These are all record store days. If you're interested in any of these. Whoa, what's coming out?
Ooh, help him.
You don't need help no more.
Yeah, well, help him.
Record store day from Allman Brothers from 2022. Cream of the Crop. Peach Picks. Record store day, Nancy Sinatra. Does That Grab You? Sealed. 2024. Gene Clark from the Byrds. A 2 LP set, 24 rare tracks from the Byrds Legend. Translucent Tan video, The Lost Studio Sessions. This is from 2016, so this is an old record store day. Mazzy thinks Gene Clark is way underrated. Eric Burden and War. It's got four albums in it. The complete vinyl collection. Record store day from 2022. And the last one, Linda Ronstadt. The Asylum Years, 1973 to 1977. Made in Germany, and the year, it doesn't say. So those are all record store day releases that I'm selling on consignment for Dave Frazier. Got this lot of albums from Uncle Paul the other day. Got a MS Mobile Original Master Recording, Mobile Fidelity Sound Lab pressing from the 80s of Abbey Road. Got these two Monkey Laserdisc, Volume 1 and Volume 2. Uncle Paul says this Volume 2 is hard to get. It is factory sealed. It's got 1, 2... It's got 3 different episodes on it. This one has 3 different early episodes. It's got the Christmas show on it though. If you ever seen the Monkeys Christmas show, it's pretty cool. Got a factory sealed Pipes of Peace that's a Barnes & Noble exclusive. It includes a 7-inch single of Pipes of Peace and So Bad in there. Got a Barnes & Noble exclusive with a 7-inch of Ebony and Ivory and Rain Clouds. That's sealed. Got these 2 live at the BBC when they remastered and added a few interviews and tracks on the live at the BBC on 2013. Volume 1, factory sealed. and Volume 2, Factory Seal. Never heard these Beatles live at the BBC? It's a must. Chapel Roan for a second, and then I won't talk anymore about Chapel Roan. Sorry, Patricia. Little Beatles Corner. Only 500 of these CDs were made when she was 16, and her original name was Kaylee Rose. Rose was her middle name, and only 500 of these were made. And the other day, one that was open sold for $1,000, and it wasn't even signed, and it wasn't sealed like this is. This one is $2,000 if you're interested. Send me a message through my YouTube channel, Mr_StickerMania at yahoo.com. That's your responsibility, in case we need it anymore. All right. Ringo Starr. I missed putting out the 60th anniversary of this on the music system today. They played Photograph and You're 16, which are both on this album. Which Beatle, I'm sure you're going to know this, wrote the Photograph for Ringo because he wanted Ringo to have a #1 hit?
A little Beatles corner. I said I like to learn new stuff. No worries at all.
All right, thanks.
About to George Harrison.
George Harrison, you're right. Brad Parnell, get that?
Yep, and then Polly said it second.
All right. Yeah, George wrote another song for Ringo that was a hit, but it wasn't #1. What was it? 1971.
The song in the store.
Ringo sang it at concert for Bangladesh.
The song at the store.
No. You don't have to wear that on your head.
My dad told me to.
So this is an original mail-in from 1964. It said free, this tumbler with a Beatles lip prints. But you had to, it says $1 each.
They said the answer.
So I guess you only got one free, and then if you wanted more than one, it was $1 each.
Brad said it don't come easy, and Paulie said it too.
Oh, you had to, yeah, it don't come easy was the answer, thanks. So Ringo wrote 2 big hits for Ringo Starr right when Ringo was depressed because he couldn't believe the Beatles broke up.
They're getting all of them right.
So you had to buy 12 issues of Teen Screen to get this free Beatles tumbler. Few songs that they've been played. If you watch YouTube and watch Now and Then of McCartney doing that in concert, it's perfect because his older voice is perfect for the Now and Then song, and he plays outtakes from the video behind him. It's really emotional to watch Paul sing Now and Then on the current tour over in Europe. And the weird thing about our music system at the store, sometimes it only plays half of the stereo mix. So on the Mamas and the Papas California Dreamin', you only hear the Mamas. On I Saw Her Standing There, you only hear the instruments. On Do You Believe in Magic, you only hear the background vocals. And Kind of a Drag was playing today. It must be a mono mix. And it brought me straight back to 8th grade at the lunchroom where they were playing Kind of a Drag by the Buckinghams on the jukebox. Live and Let Die at a recent Billy Joel concert. He had Axl Rose come out and sing Live and Let Die. He did a pretty fair job, but that song that Paul McCartney wrote for the James Bond movie would have never been as big a classic over time if Axl Rose and Guns N' Roses hadn't covered it. The young crowd probably only knows the Gun N' Roses version rather than Paul and the McCartney and Wings.
These are two Brad comments.
Brad Parnell said George also assisted Ringo in writing Octopuss's Gard.
Yeah, that's in the Get Back documentary. That's where he's really, because Ringo hardly had any of the Octopuss's Garden, and George just kind of took over and said, you need to do this, this, and this, and they're by the piano. George really helped Ringo along.
Brad also said, I was in the store when the Buckinghams was playing.
All right, Brad. You noticed it too. Some other new things I've got in. We got this original 1969. This is the controversy Paul McCartney did. The Great Hoax. It sold for 60 cents. You got another thing that has to do with the Paul is Dead. The best best paperback that came out in 1964, The True Story of the Beatles by Billy Shepherd. It was the only one that really was the true story of the Beatles. But it was by Billy Shepherd, if you can believe that. And you guys know the rumor about Billy Shepherd. Got these licorice candies from 1963 in England. This time I got them without the licorice candy because the last time the licorice is all just pretty much disintegrating and making a mess of the wrappers. So this one, the wrappers are in good shape with the inserts, and they sold for 10 cents. Well, there's a little bit of stain from the licorice. 10 cents in England. They were whole cases of these at the counters in stores in England in 1963. It was made by Cleveland Confectionery Blackpool Limited. So you got a Ringo, you got a John Lennon, you got a George and a Paul.
He said keep it over here.
It's right there.
And you even have a whole group insert. So there were 5 different ones.
What the heck?
I'll do the last 2 comments.
Daniel Casilio said, did you watch the trailer for Midas Man?
For what?
Midas Man.
Show me.
Midas Man. Midas Man.
Midas Man? No, that's a Brian Epstein story. No, I haven't seen it. I'll check that out, Daniel. Thanks.
Gregory Fiosa, hey Frank, sorry you're late to the game. Greetings from California.
Gregory Fio, the one that's sending me a butcher cover that I've made an offer on. He's also sending me a West Coast butcher cover to finish up. Talking about butcher cover.
Juan Jose Rodriguez. So hi, Mr. Stickermania. Do you have Peruvian records in your collection? Greetings from Peru.
Do I have what?
Peru.
Oh, I do not have any Peru records. I've had South Africa. I have a South Africa white album I showed in the last episode.
Like this one?
I think it's this one here.
I'll be right back.
The South African white album with the top loader laminated cover, but they didn't have the right to use the Apple label, so they're on Parlophone.
Daniel said they have Jay Leno portraying Ed Sullivan.
Yeah, is that pretty good? Did you like Jay Leno playing Ed Sullivan? I can see it. Got to give Jay Leno something to do. He just can't travel in all his antique cars every day. So this is the West Coast butcher cover that's peeled that shows the bottom of the bench all the way along the bottom. I've showed several times. And this is a proof that Jacksonville, there were no butcher covers underneath there. Somebody said it was. I peeled it off. And you can see all the Jacksonville butcher covers were destroyed except for maybe a few that were snuck out by the employees through the back door. Rolling Stones we haven't talked about. Got 3 Rolling Stones to show. A German pressing of the great Let It Bleed stereo from the early 70s. It's on a Royal Sound label. I sent one of these to a buyer and he said it really sounds good. Give Me Shelter really sounds good on this. Got a 1971 Sticky Fingers with a zipper all the way down so it doesn't ruin the grooves. This is the first pressing with printing on both sides and the red hype sticker affixed to the shrink. The first time you ever saw the red tone was on the Sticky Fingers. Was on the hype sticker and it was on the inner sleeve. This one's never been opened up to show the Andy Warhol print underneath. And we got the Exile on Main Street first pressing from England. John Hood says this is a second pressing, but it's got the Unipack cover, and the postcards and the hype stickers are in here too. The original 2 hype stickers for Exile on Main Street. That's my Rolling Stones minute. Now the Rolling Stones, do you think they're ever going to tour again? Then we're going to go into Led Zeppelin.
Gregory's got a quick question, Frank. Is Sticker Kid gonna peel the second state butcher cover? I'm sending you wink wink.
No. He might watch me, but no. I'm going to peel it. I haven't peeled one in a couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks. I got to peel yours as soon as it shows up so I don't lose that feel on how to peel them. Led Zeppelin. Original program from the Texas International Pop Festival from 1969, I'm pretty sure. So half of the book inside is one direction and the other half, the back half, is a different direction. The camping area map, Johnny Winter was there. Led Zeppelin. Can you believe they didn't close on Sunday night? They had 2 or 3 groups after them. That would be hard to... They had Herbie Mann, Sam and Dave, and Santana played after Led Zeppelin on Sunday night, August 31st. That'd be a tough act to follow, Led Zeppelin. There's a picture of Santana. Coke even got an advertisement in there. Janis Joplin was here. That's pretty cool. The Texas International Pop Festival. That's the first time I've ever had this program. Now it goes the other direction. Sly and the Family Stone, the Rotary Connection, Chicago Transit Authority before they were called Chicago, Delaney and Bonnie. You know that George played backup. George Harrison played backup for Delaney and Bonnie. I wonder if it was on this show. Canned Heat. Go a few more. Goes backwards. B.B. King. What famous guy was in Nas before he produced Badfinger? Straight up. There's another trivia question for you. The Incredible String Band. Janis Joplin towards the end of her life. The James Cotton Band. And that's what's in that program.
Juan Jose said there are many collectible records from Peru, VG. A Hard Day's Night cover has a unique cover.
Yeah, I've seen the picture of it before.
Gregory said, Frank, do you have the 3 Beatles souvenir tour programs?
Yeah, I got 2 of them over here.
Caesar says, hi, Frank and family. And then Polly said, Todd Rundgren.
Todd Rundgren is the answer. He was in Nas.
So Polly got on that one.
So I got the 65 in my storage unit, but there's a 64 program for the United States and the 66. That was the last one. You know, I've sold the tickets for the last show, San Francisco, Candlestick Park, several times. Led Zeppelin. Finished the Led Zeppelin moment. Somebody on Facebook Marketplace put this Led Zeppelin 2 up the other day, and they wanted $200 for the whole lot. And you had to go through all 10 pictures to figure out that the small dead wax on side 2. So this is the RL Hot Mix. It's a SP specialty pressing. So I got 20 albums, including a Led Zeppelin 2 for $200.
Brad said, do you have On Tour with Eric Clapton by Delaney and Bonnie?
No. That's where he's sitting in a old car and his feet are hanging out. I've seen the cover of it.
And Gregory said, I have the Beatles third program if you need it.
Oh, I have all of them. But thanks. So these are a couple, I got these from Paul Brooker. The Girl. These are the original labels for the Girl. You're Gonna Lose That Girl and Girl That Got Canceled at last second for love songs. And labels for Wings Greatest. What else do we need to show? Show the Led Zeppelin. I got another Led Zeppelin 4 in. And it's real nice shape, and it's a Monarch pressing. Can't wait to play this tomorrow with Porky Pecco Duck in the dead wax. That's the way you want to hear Led Zeppelin Zosa. You want to hear that whole power.
Gregory wants to know if you're selling the labels.
Selling the labels, yeah. I'm selling them on consignment. Or no, those are mine. I bought them from Paul Brooker. Send me an offer. And told you about Led Zeppelin, the House of the Holy. So my signatures are coming on one of these covers, which isn't a bad deal. That's the first time I've ever seen Led Zeppelin full set of signatures on an album cover, but it's on the band that goes around here. It's called a belly band. But they sent me the Earl Courts program and the belly band that's on Led Zeppelin, the House of the Holy album. It all comes with a deal, plus it's 2 COAs. Certificate of Authenticity. Got these from Paul Brooker.
Don't forget to hit that like.
Uncle Paul. Hit that like. We're up to 2011, I think. But we're moving along. We're actually getting paid a few dimes now on every episode. So you got these 4 little pop picks from England. Pop Pick Super. Paul McCartney. Ringo Starr. These sold for 40 cents back in 1963. George Harrison. These got real nice color photos inside. They're kind of fragile. I'm afraid to open them up. But you can see the Beatles when they're really young. Before they exploded in the world like Chapel Roan is doing.
Brad Parnell asked, did you see The Cure's Robert Smith said they will retire in 2029 after 50 years of being a band?
Robert Smith and The Cure. I saw The Cure at Richfield Coliseum in Cleveland in the 80s. And it was pretty good. The Cure.
But they're retiring in 2029.
Yeah, they're retiring.
That's what they say. That's fine.
A lot of bands say they're going to retire, but I think Aerosmith did retire. They have no choice because Steven Tyler can't sing anymore. It'd be kind of tough to. Remember NXS when the lead singer hung himself? They tried to replace him with somebody else, and it was impossible. The Doors tried to replace Jim Morrison. That's just certain lead singers, the front man. How could you replace Mick Jagger or the Rolling Stones?
Oh, just like how you always say you're gonna retire.
I am retiring January 31st, 2025, when I'm 71. A little hint, if you're out there finding old CDs, if you want the Led Zeppelin CDs that sound the best, you want to get them on this Atlantic label that looks like this from 1987, rather than these 90 pressings that are on that kind of label. So much better. Led Zeppelin CDs, audiophile pressings of these CDs when they have that label, the Atlantic label. There's the How's the Holy again. Led Zeppelin 4, and the first Led Zeppelin album, that was a 90s pressing. Where are we at on time?
It is 11:46 p.m.
10 more minutes. Got some questions. I'll show what I don't think I've shown before. I sold 2 Hard Day's Night EPs today from England for, I think it was $44. Laminated cover. They got the flips on the back. And you got to have a pressing that says sold in the UK on the middle of the record to be original from England. It's got a 2N and a 1N in the matrix of the dead wax. There were a lot of these made in the 70s, but these are original 60s I got from Don that does a It's Only Rock and Roll podcast. It's Only Rock and Roll podcast. I got this Meet the Beatles shirt, t-shirt tag. I've had the t-shirt 3 times before, new old stock condition. There's a lot of these tags left, but to find this on the shirt in the original packing is almost impossible. They're worth about $300 with the t-shirt in perfect new old stock. There's a lot of extras of this tag were made. This is pretty cool. These are store tags from 1964 that the stores put on their 45 RPMs so somebody could tell right away what it was. That was for She Loves You on Swan and My Bonnie on MGM. Any questions?
No.
Got some more of these Beatle EPs I'll show.
Rapper Arnell said the Doors consider asking Paul McCartney to replace Jim Morrison, but despite rumors to the contrary, they never asked him.
Never asked Paul McCartney?
Yeah.
To replace Jim Morrison.
Gregory,
Boy, that would have been something else.
Gregory Fio said Paul is dead. Long live Billy Shears.
Billy Shears. How about Billy Shepherd?
Then he said, just kidding, Paul. And Beatles Nightcore and Daycore said, I just recently found an original 45 RPM of Let It Be at the thrift store.
All right.
A Little Beatles Corner said, what condition is the vinyl on those 45 HADNs?
On the EPs from England, they're in very good plus condition. Got an original Magical Mystery Tour from England, 67. It's got to have the blue insert instead of the yellow insert there in the middle. And it's got to have white sleeves with sold in the UK on the middle of the label. That's up on my STICKERMANIA 2853 eBay store. Got a few other EPs that are all originals from Don of It's Only Rock and Roll podcast. He interviewed Lou Gramm, a foreigner, and he actually interviewed Pete Best. Did I tell you the story one time in the 20 years ago, I was in Florida at a convention for collectibles, and they had a line to get Pete Best's autograph for $25, and I passed on that.
Why?
I don't know. I just did. I'm just telling you I did.
Okay.
Nowhere Man, Originals, EP. It's got Nowhere Man, Drive My Car, Michelle, and You Won't See Me. There's a whole story about Michelle, how Paul McCartney didn't want it released as a single, but in the United States, the DJs, that was their favorite song on Rubber Soul, and they played it to death. And they even put the hype sticker on the Rubber Soul album that said this includes the original hit of Michelle. So it would have been a biggest hit as Yesterday, but Paul and the Beatles didn't want to release it as a single.
You sick again?
No, I'm not sick. Just got a little cough.
Beatles, Nightcore, and Daycore said, what's your favorite song from Magical Mystery Tour?
Favorite song from Magical Mystery Tour from the movie would have to be I Am the Walrus from the film, where they're doing I Am the Walrus. What a great song by John Lennon. So you got original Beatle hits. That's before Sold in the UK was put on the label, before 1964. So this is a 1963 pressing. You got a Twist and Shout, 1963 pressing. You got a Beatles number 1, 1963 pressing. That's a sharp outtake there of the Please Please album. It's a little bit different. Let's find a Please Please album to show it, compare it. Thought I had one here, but probably won't find it right away. That might be right here.
Come on, sticker granddaughter, give us a joke.
You got a joke there, sticker granddaughter?
While we're passing time.
The joke is this live.
Oh, I'm gonna slap you for that one. Do the comment.
So you got the Please Please album and the Please Please EP. Look how, I don't know, this could be the same picture. Let me look at it closer. No, George looks different. Paul looks different. That's a different take. Ringo's smiling here, and he's not smiling much there. So the album and the EP have a different picture.
Help.
Who?
I'm about to sing that song, Help. I need some help.
Sing
Yeah,
it.
Long Tall Sally.
I don't know it.
You should.
That's a 64 pressing, was sold in the UK in the middle. You got a Beatles for Sale. My favorite Beatles album. One of the favorite Beatles album. How can you just say you have a favorite? Kind of tough. Beatles for Sale number 2. That's a pretty somber picture of the Beatles there. I don't know if that's from the same as Rubber Soul. It's by Robert Freeman. And you got Beatles Million Sellers. It has supposed to have a real audiophile pressing of She Loves You and I Want to Hold Your Hand on there. That's one thing I hope they show in the Beatles 64 documentary. That way, if you watch the YouTube video now of the Beatles on Ed Sullivan, they might have all been pulled now. But the electricity of the audience just keeps getting higher and higher in the screaming until it's an all-out pitch during I Want to Hold Your Hand, because those 725 people in the audience, oh, I'm going to get choked up.
Well, dang it.
Do
They
comment.
know they're seeing history when they see the Beatles doing I Want to Hold Your Hand, the 725. When they see the Beatles doing I Want to Hold Your Hand, they know that's history in the making.
Gregory Theo said, long story short, I was in that same long line, Beatle Fest here in Pasadena, California. I got to the front of the line, I was carrying a Hofender Club 40, and he stopped and said, hey, that's John's guitar.
Oh, he said it's not from Help. He said it's from, what did he say? I thought they used that acoustic guitar that sold for over $2 million at Julian's auction. He sent me a picture where he was holding on to it. That was pretty cool.
Gregory Theo said he played it to my surprise. The line stopped moving while we watched Pete Best play it.
Pete Best played it?
Yeah.
All right.
Pete Best is a pretty good guitar pick.
Maybe he's a better guitarist than a drummer. That's a little joke.
Daniel Castillo said, do you prefer long, tall Sally or I'm down?
I prefer Long Tall Sally. Do you want to know why?
Why?
Because it was the last song they did at the Washington, D.C. concert, February 11th. And I hope we get to see a remix version, remix, that's going to cut out a lot of the crowd there at the boxing arena and hear the pure brilliance of McCartney screaming out Long Tall Sally at the end of the show.
Gregory Theo said it was about 25 years ago. Pete Best autographs were $20. LOL.
Yeah, that's what I said. It was 25 in the line that I was in. But I didn't stay in line.
Daniel Castillo said the same director of 8 Days a Week is for the upcoming documentary.
So they're using the same director as both of them.
Well, 8 Days a Week was Ron Howard. This is Martin Scorsese, if I say his name right. He's the one that did Living in the Material World by George Harrison and Bob Dylan's Don't Look Back.
Beatles, Nightcore, and Daycore said I Am the Walrus is a great song. The Walrus from the music video is actually my profile picture right now.
There's a station here in Louisville, when I first came to town in 1997, 107.7. To begin with, they played, when they first went on the air, they played I Am the Walrus straight for 24 hours. One right after another for 24 hours. Can you imagine a radio station playing I Am the Walrus for 24 hours straight? That is crazy, crazy, crazy.
Give me my stuff.
Do the comment.
Show me the 4 Remco dolls there.
Gregory Theo said another guitar, Frank. The Hofner Pete played was not John's. That was another guitar.
Gotcha.
Picture.
Gotcha.
Dan Castillo said Little Richard said he taught Paul how to.
Yeah, well, Little Richard wants to take credit for that, but come on.
Give me
Let's give Paul McCartney some credit. He was good at knowing how to sing like somebody. He practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced. You know how you got to Carnegie Hall? How do you get to Carnegie Hall?
No.
Practice, practice, practice. By the time the Beatles got from Hamburg, Paul said that they did 4 sets of like an hour and a half in Hamburg. And so when they came back to Liverpool, they took the best of those 4 sets and made one 40-minute show. And they said, I can't say what he said, but he said that he put their DIs into the ground of any other band in Liverpool when they came back to Liverpool.
Walrus used to have a guy in walrus costume running around as their mascot said Broad Prano.
That's what he said, the radio station. WLRS had a guy that ran around in a walrus costume.
So these are my 4 hard bodies that aren't in the boxes of George Harrison, Remco's from 1964, John Lennon, Ringo Starr, and Paul McCartney.
Do the last 2 comments.
Gregory Theo said turn left at Greenland.
Turn left at Greenland. What movie is that from? How about A Hard Day's Night?
Daniel Castillo said Little Richard said he made a valiant effort but never reached his level.
Oh, that Paul never reached the level of Little Richard? Oh, come on. The Beatles took the influences from those artists, but they took it to a whole nother level. Do you think that we'd still be hearing Twist and Shout if all we had were the Isley Brothers? I kind of doubt it. All right, that's my little 2 cents. I know you can disagree. We agree to disagree. See my Chapel Roan. There's only one of these, sort of 50. One of 50 were made for her when she performed in Little Rock, Arkansas on April 4th of the beginning of the year. So she toured the whole year. I know she canceled a few shows, but she's done touring. The Midwest Princess Tour is over with for 2024. So I spent a lot of money to see her in Franklin, Tennessee, but it's all over with and done. So I can say I was one of the few people, lucky people, to see Chapel Roan right up front. Somebody posted a 1 hour and 18-minute video, 4K, of Chapel of Franklin, Tennessee. Check it out, and you'll see how great she is. And then we got our Halloween's coming up. Here she is as a, what do we call her here? The drag? Is that a drag queen outfit, or what do you call that?
Yeah, I guess Dracula, but
Dracula? Dracula?
Problem.
This was issued at the premiere of September 22nd of last year when Midwest Princess, The Fall and Rise of Midwest Princess was released. It's taken a whole year for it to go up the charts, but it may get to #1 here in the next few weeks. Any other questions? And we're going to close this out. I think we're close to an hour. Got my...
That is where you're at, I believe.
I know. Brad Parnell said the original of Twist and Shout was by the Top Notes. The Icy Brothers version was a cover. Beatles, Nightcore and Decor said, yo, so how many of the items you have are original?
My items are original?
He said how many of them are original? How much of your item is what he's saying?
For what item?
Well, he's just asking.
No.
He gets nothing but the best of the best majority.
Yeah, I try to only go after original thing.
Do you prefer the Kentucky or Tennessee chicken?
That's what Daniel said.
Kentucky. So, anybody out there know if these are originals? People are asking me questions on eBay because they've never seen these before. These Rolling Stone jewelry brooches, supposedly from England in 1963. Do you guys think those are original? They look original to me. This is original. Beatles Are Coming, the first promotional item for the Beatles in late December of 1963. These were pasted everywhere. All right, I think that does it for us here in Louisville, Kentucky until Saturday night, which is October 19th or 20th.
Daniel said need to get authenticated.
What do I have to get authenticated?
Maybe those.
Oh, this?
Yeah.
I need to have a Rolling Stones expert tell me if these are real or not.
Brad says stay warm tonight. Little Beatles Corner said thank you, Sticker family. Very good show.
Thanks a lot, Patricia. I'll get that Paul Remco doll out to you tomorrow. Thanks from Louisville, Kentucky. We're going to do a Saturday night live stream. We're going to do a giveaway. Giveaway a poster.
We're just waiting to see.
I have a couple fan club posters from 1968 and 69. And we'll give you a choice. And I'll come up with 3 difficult questions concerning the fan club. And you might know what one of them's going to be. Give you a little hint. All right, so say goodbye there, Sticker Grandma.
Have a nice night, friends.
Thanks a lot from Louisville, Kentucky.
See you Saturday.